if you have tried everything to get your hair healthy and growing, if you're frustrated with empty promises and pretty packages, then you are in the right place, okay? So that's why I focus on more than just products. I take a holistic approach to hair health that looks at not just the products that you're using, but the big picture, okay? So your mindset, your habits, and your nutrition. And these things all play a part in how well, how healthy, and how strong your hair grows, okay? These are the things that most people don't talk about. And these are the things that most people don't know about or understand. Okay, so before you spend more money buying products that don't work, follow your girl, get some of this information, some of this knowledge so that you can know that there is more to hair growth than just another hair growth product. Okay, when was the last time you actually checked on your scalp health? Okay, this is something that I talk about quite a bit, and it's for a reason. Okay, your scalp health. We spend so much time moisturizing, conditioning, styling. But if your scalp is out of whack, your hair cannot reach its full potential, okay, in most cases. Now, I know that hair loss and hair issues can stem from a number of things, but most of the time, the simplest thing is the thing that we overlook, okay, and that's our scalp health. So today we're going to do something a little bit different, a little bit fun and interactive, okay? I've created this scalp health quiz, okay? And we're going to see how this goes. After you do the quiz, you're going to get personalized tips based on your answers, okay? So stay with me until the end and we'll see how we can level up your hair health or your hair growth game together, okay? Now, before we dive into the quiz, we're going to talk about, I want to kind of break down and make sure we understand why scalp health matters. We talk about it a lot, but do you actually understand why it's important? Okay. Really quickly, I want to give you 6 reasons before we get into the quiz. I want to give you 6 reasons why your scalp is such a big deal when it comes to hair growth. 6 specific things I want you to understand and look out for. So first thing, if you have clogged pores, you will have stunted growth, okay? Clogged pores equal stunted growth. Your scalp has tiny pores, just like the skin on your face, the skin on your arms, legs, your body. Every skin on your body has pores. Your scalp is skin, so it is much the same, right? Your pores need to stay clean and clear so that your follicles can breathe and function properly, okay? When your scalp gets clogged, of course, you know, dirt, oil, product buildup, or dead skin cells can suffocate your hair follicles, okay? So this means that the new hair has a hard time pushing through. And I have my trusty little hair or skin model so that you can kind of see, hopefully you can see this, okay? So let me find a pen so I can point. Now, this is a very enlarged version of what your scalp looks like, okay, from a microscopic level, okay? Now, this right here is your follicle, okay? This is the follicle cover. This is like if we were to split it down the middle, that's what the follicle looks like. This is your hair shaft or your hair strands, okay? Can everybody see that? Now, when your pores up here on your scalp are clogged, then the follicle, which is where the hair grows from, the hair cannot push through, okay? Because it's so clogged with all of that dirt, oil, product buildup, and all of those things, okay? So that means when new hair tries to push through, the existing hair can become weaker and more prone to breakage, okay? Hopefully you understand that. I don't want to go too in depth in that. I just wanted to give you a quick overview of how that works, okay? Second thing is pore circulation. Pore circulation equals weak follicles. I know you have heard me say it, and many people say it, blood flow to the scalp. Increase blood flow to the scalp. Your hair needs to have more blood flow to the scalp. Why do people say that? It's because blood flow or blood carries oxygen and nutrients that fuel your follicles. So again, going back to our trusty hair model, if you could see like these little arteries here, the little red lines, let's just call these the blood flow, okay? So this is where the blood comes from, you know, the rest of your body, and it has to make its way to your follicles, okay? This is where your follicles get the oxygen, they get nutrients, everything that your hair needs in order to grow comes from the nutrients that are in your blood. Okay. So all of the food that we eat affects our hair growth. This is why the food we eat affects our hair growth, or the foods that we don't eat, or when we are nutrient deficient. If our blood does not carry those nutrients that our body needs, if we're not getting enough exercise, we don't have enough oxygen being carried to those follicles, that's going to affect your hair health. Okay. So remember, poor circulation equals weak follicles. The next thing, number 3, imbalances. Imbalances will equal hair that's prone to breakage. So what's an imbalance? Think about your scalp as an ecosystem, or it's its own little environment. Okay. It has to stay balanced to keep your hair in top shape. So if it's too dry, your scalp will start to flake. So if you've got flakes, not dandruff, but flakes, okay, this can lead to irritation and even inflammation, which weakens your hair at the root. Okay. If your scalp is too oily, so if you're someone whose hair leans more on the oilier side, you get that excess sebum. So remember, our scalp produces its own natural oil called sebum. This can clog the follicles. It can build up to potential scalp infections. Okay. Either way, whether your scalp is too dry or too oily, this can cause your hair to become brittle, thin, or be more prone to breakage. Okay. Number 4, inflammation. Inflammation leads to hair loss. What is inflammation? Inflammation is tight hairstyles. Again, scalp infections. If you are sensitive to certain products, that could cause inflammation on your scalp. All right. These things over time damage the follicles. Of course, we know that tight hairstyles one time will probably not permanently damage your follicles. But if you continue to do these things and you don't address them, they can result in increased shedding, slow growth, and even permanent hair loss if left untreated. Okay. The next thing, the role of sebum. So let's go back to that natural oil that our scalp produces called sebum. All right. It's an oil that keeps your hair moisturized and protected. All right. If your hair or your scalp is producing too much, it can throw everything off balance. Right. A healthy scalp produces the perfect amount. All right. The right amount of sebum to coat and protect the hair and scalp without clogging your follicles. All right. So this is why maintaining a scalp that's not too oily or not too dry is optimal, or is crucial for optimal health. Okay. And then a healthy scalp, healthy environment. Okay. This is the last one. It's kind of like summarizes everything I've just said. Your scalp, again, is the foundation that holds everything in place. When it's healthy, it acts as a protective layer. Okay. So let's go back to our little model here. This would be the scalp. When it's healthy, okay, it's a protective layer for all of the stuff that's happening down here. All right. So making sure your follicles stay rooted. We want to make sure your follicles stay rooted and strong. These things here that's producing your hair strands, we want these to stay strong and nourished. Okay. That's what's going to help you have consistent and healthy hair growth. All right. And remember, your hair is always growing. Your hair is always growing. Most of us do not have a hair growth problem. We have a length retention problem, meaning our hair is growing, but it's not retaining the length because of the reasons that I just mentioned. Okay. Some of the reasons that I just mentioned. The bottom line, a healthy scalp. I'm going to say it again. Okay. Turn your ears up. A healthy scalp is one of the secrets, okay, to achieving healthy, strong hair. Okay. It's not just about applying the right products, and products are amazing. Products are necessary. We need products. Okay. But that's not the main thing. Okay. It's about creating a perfect environment for your hair to thrive. Now, to create the perfect environment, we may need some products. Okay. But we need to know what products that we need in order to achieve the scalp health that we need. Okay. So when you take care of your scalp, you're setting the stage for hair that's stronger and healthier and grows without obstacles. Okay. So now that we've got that covered, let's move on to the quiz. So I want you all to get out a pen and paper. We got 5 questions. Okay. I want you to get out a pen and paper, but I'm going to ask you 5 questions, and each question has 3 possible answers. Okay. And then afterwards, I'm going to go through, based on your answers, I'm going to give you tips specifically for the answers that you chose. Okay. First question. Okay. First question. How often does your scalp feel itchy or irritated? A, never. B, occasionally. Or C, all the time. You answer that on your pen and paper. You don't have to put your answer in the comments. Question number 2, how would you describe the oiliness of your scalp? Everybody's scalp has a level of oiliness, okay? I want you to tell me about yours. Is it A, balanced? That means it's not too oily and it's not too dry. That's A. B, it's slightly oily or it's slightly dry. So is it more on the oily side or more on the drier side? And then C is very oily or is very dry. Okay. Question number 3. Do you notice flakes or dandruff on your scalp? Here's your 3 answers. No, never, never. A is never. A is I don't never see no flakes or no dandruff. Okay. B is sometimes. Okay. B is sometimes. And then C is frequently. C is frequently. I frequently see flakes and dandruff on my scalp. Question number 4. How often do you experience scalp tenderness or discomfort? So what do I mean by that? You touch your scalp and it's sore, or you notice that your scalp is red, or it looks inflamed, or it's uncomfortable. It feels tight, like something's wrong, and you don't have any tight hairstyles or anything like that. You just notice that your scalp is tender and it's uncomfortable. Now, this is a problem that I used to have. Scalp tenderness was a problem that I had a lot. My scalp would be red and irritated. Never. B is occasionally, and C is often. Number 5, how often do you use products that can cause buildup? Products like oils, gels, etc. Okay. How often do you use products that can cause buildup? A, rarely. B, occasionally. C, frequently. So A, rarely would mean maybe once a week. That's rarely. Occasionally would be a few times a week. C would be every day. So once you got your answers, we're moving forward. That was a 5. Now the score, let's interpret the scores. Now for the fun part, okay? Look at your answers and see where you landed mostly, okay? Do you have mostly A's, mostly B's, or mostly C's? Okay, there's no wrong answer. This isn't a test. There's no wrong answer. So let's start with mostly A's. Okay, if you have mostly A's, then congratulations, your scalp is thriving, okay? Your scalp is in great shape and appears to be well balanced. Now, this means you are doing a good job keeping things in check and your hair has the perfect foundation for growth. What you're doing right. Now, this is what I believe you are doing right if you have mostly A's. Your scalp is getting enough moisture without being too oily. You likely have a good cleansing routine, all right? Making sure that your pores aren't clogged by product buildup. Likely you have no major signs of irritation or dryness, meaning your scalp is happily supporting your hair follicles. So that's very good. Now, how to maintain that, okay? Even though your scalp is healthy, even though you scored mostly A's, maintenance is going to be key here. So whatever you are doing, continue to do it, but also incorporate some scalp detoxes, okay, occasionally. You can do this probably about once a month. You can make your own, or you can purchase something in a store. A gentle exfoliating scrub will do fine. Like I said, once or twice a month, just to keep your scalp refreshed and free from buildup. Make sure you keep your scalp hydrated, especially if you are in a dry climate, or you're someone that uses a lot of heat styling tools, okay? Doing your regular scalp massages is going to keep that, help keep your circulation flowing. Remember, we want the nutrients to reach your follicles to keep them strong. So if you want to maintain this scalp health, you'll need to do that. And then also, so one quick pro tip, don't forget to protect your scalp from the sun. If you are outside a lot, if you ride in your car with your sunroof open a lot, okay, just be sure that you are either wearing a hat, applying a lightweight SPF spray to your part line. So if you wear your hair parted a certain way, like whatever is exposed to the sun, okay, we want to protect that. And remember, a sunburned scalp can lead to inflammation and discomfort and hair thinning, okay, over time. So if you're constantly doing these things and not protecting your scalp, it could lead to more problems, okay? So mostly B's. If you got mostly B's, your scalp is in pretty good shape, but it's probably sending some signals that it could use a little bit more attention. So you're not far off from having a healthier scalp, but I'm going to tell you a few small tweaks that you can make in your routine that'll make a big difference. Okay, so what's going on here? You might be experiencing mild dryness or oiliness depending on your hair type and the environment. That's definitely important, as well as your diet. You may have some occasional some product buildup or occasional irritation, which would be causing your scalp to feel a little bit out of balance. Your hair is growing, but you might notice that it's probably not as strong or as thick as you would like it to be. So how to give your scalp some more love. If your scalp is feeling dry or flaky, try to incorporate more hydration. Okay, so if you answer that your scalp is more on the drier side, you're going to need to add a little bit more hydration. So you'll use a lightweight scalp-friendly oil. I like jojoba oil or argan oil a couple times a week just to help to reintroduce some moisture into your scalp. If your scalp is leaning more towards the oilier side, you'll need to use like a clarifying shampoo once a week. Probably not going to need to use it that often. Maybe once every 2 weeks, maybe not even that often, just depending on how oily your scalp is. All right. So a clarifying shampoo is going to help to prevent buildup. Remember, we don't want product to build up on our scalp, but just be careful, of course, not to overwash or over cleanse, as this can trigger more oil production. So the more if you have an oilier scalp naturally, if you wash or cleanse your scalp too much, this could probably trigger your scalp to produce more oil. So we want to kind of keep a perfect balance there. Again, exfoliation. This is going to be a great way to do a scalp reset. So again, a gentle scrub to remove the dead skin and product buildup. This will allow your scalp to breathe and to improve the circulation. So regular scalp massages, again, we want to stimulate that blood flow. It doesn't matter what condition your scalp is in. You can do this on your way to sleep. Okay, you can massage your skin. You can massage your scalp on your way to sleep at night. Okay, anything is better than doing nothing. All right. This will, of course, bring more oxygen and nutrients to your follicles, and this can encourage healthier growth and prevent thinning. Also, exercise. Exercise is another good way to get your blood flowing and to get your circulation. Okay. Pay attention to your diet. This is going to be for everybody, but mostly if you scored all B's. Pay attention to your diet. Your scalp's condition is usually a reflection of what's going on inside. So let's be sure to stay hydrated. Of course, drink enough water, eating your foods that are rich in your omega-3s, your zinc, vitamins A and E. These help to nourish your scalp from the inside. If you got mostly C's, your scalp needs immediate attention. Okay. If you score mostly C's, don't panic. Your scalp is struggling, but the good news is it's never too late to turn things around. Okay. Your scalp may be dealing with some imbalances that are affecting its ability to support healthy hair growth. But with the right steps and with consistency, that's going to be important, you can get back on track. So what's going on at this stage? All right. Your scalp is probably excessively dry or excessively oily. Okay. Or both. It could be really oily in some places and really dry in other places. This can disrupt your natural growth cycle. Okay. You might be dealing with products or buildup from products like oils, gels, heavy conditioners, leading to clogged pores and stunted hair growth. So if you are putting conditioner on your hair, you should be putting conditioner on your hair, not your scalp. You do not need to put those heavy conditioning creams necessarily on your scalp unless you are sure that you are washing it or rinsing it out completely. Because if not, a lot of times these conditioners have these heavy ingredients or ingredients in them that can cause irritation that we probably don't see right away. Okay. And either way, these things can affect our hair health and hair growth. So irritation, flaking, or even scalp soreness could be a sign that inflammation or infections are present, which can weaken your hair follicles. I would definitely recommend using tea tree oil on your scalp. Eucalyptus oil on your scalp would be great. Lavender oil would be great. Essential oils, but of course we know we need to dilute them. So peppermint oil is good also. Any of those oils that I just mentioned, if you dilute them with a little bit of oil or even aloe vera, that will help. That will help big time, especially if you're dealing with inflammation or infections or irritation of the scalp. Some other things you can do is start with a deep cleanse, okay? Start with a deep cleanse. Use a clarifying shampoo or scalp detox treatment to remove the product buildup, okay? Follow with a gentle, nourishing conditioner that won't weigh down your scalp, okay? So if your scalp is excessively dry, always focus on rehydrating it. Remember, hydrate, hydrate, hydrate. Use a soothing oil treatment. You can do coconut oil. You can leave coconut oil on your scalp because coconut oil has the ability to penetrate the scalp and the hair shaft, all right? But I would definitely rinse it out. So maybe leave it on overnight so it can give you that deep moisture and balance. So coconut oil has the ability to balance your scalp. If it's too oily, it'll typically make it less, or if it's too oily or too dry, coconut oil will typically put you right in the middle where you need to be. Dealing with flakes, itchiness, you need to introduce products to your scalp that, again, like I said, are anti-inflammatory. That's going to be your tea tree oil, your peppermint oil, your eucalyptus oil, your aloe vera. These will soothe irritation and help to restore balance, okay? Again, avoid tight hairstyles. If your scalp is in bad shape, you should not be wearing no tight hairstyles, okay? You should not have anything that is pulling or tugging on your scalp because more tension will further inflame these already sensitive areas, okay, and lead to even more hair loss. So my tip to you overall is just stay consistent with your scalp care. Just like your skincare, it will take a few weeks to notice major improvements, okay? But don't give up. Stick to a routine, honey. And over time, you will start to see and feel the difference. I promise you. All right. So feel free to drop me some questions. If you have questions, put them in the chat and I will answer them. So until next time, thank you all so much for joining, for sticking around. And remember, you deserve hair that grows strong and healthy. It's my mission to help you get there, okay? And we are all going to get there together.